It was getting dark, though the town hall clock had only just struck 4. But a fog had hung all over Liverpool since morning, and everything was as damp and dismal as it well could be. And now, as evening came on, the fog had settled into a downright drizzle, converting the streets into what seemed to Nellie Bates, who was crouched in the shadow of St. George's Church, to be endless puddles. "I wish Benny would come," she said to herself. "I wonder what's kept him. He said he'd be here when the clock struck 4. And she wrapped her tattered clothes more closely around her, and looked eagerly down Lord Street and up and down Castle Street, but no Benny appeared in sight. "I'm glad as how they're lighting the lamps, anyhow. It'll make me feel a bit warmer, I reckon," she went on, "for it's terrible cold. But Benny won't be long now, nohow. I hope he's sold all his fuses." And she looked wistfully at the unsold matches lying in her lap. Then, after a pause, she went on again. "I said desperate bad luck today. I reckon the gentleman thinks it's too much trouble to take off their gloves at the coppers. I wonder if they know what it's like to be cold and hungry like me." And the child moved a little further into the shadow of the church, to escape the keen cold blast that swept up from the river. Little Nellie Bates was a delicate-looking child, with a pale, thoughtful face and big, round, dreamy-looking eyes. She had none of that wolfish expression which so often characterizes the street Arabs of our large towns and cities. On the contrary, there was an air of refinement about her that was difficult to account for. Poor little waif. Her own mother she couldn't remember. She had only known a stepmother, a cruel, drunken woman, and alas, her father was no better. Almost as soon as she could walk, she had been sent into the streets with her brother Benny, who was a year older, to get her living as best she could. Never knowing a parent's love, the affections of these 2 children had gone out to each other. Each to each was more than all the world beside. At the time our story opens, Nellie was 9 years of age, and Benny, as we said, a year older.